So, former Cincinnati Bengal Solomon Wilcots talked about the Shamar Stewart situation. And I pause because you already know how I feel about the situation. I'm so sick and tired of it. But it is what it is. It's news. We're going to talk about it. Here's what he had to say about the situation himself. He ended up leaving mandatory minicamp without participating in any on-field drills or activities. That is true. He literally just sat there on the sideline and did nothing. In today's world, where the players have NIL money, they have other things that they have been able to take advantage of. He could even sign endorsement deals and still be eligible to go back and play in college. Now, listen, right? I love Shamar Stewart. I do. As a player perspective, I think he's going to be an absolute stud in the NFL, and I think he's going to be a superstar. But, and I might be wrong here, don't most players sign NIL deals? Oh, I guess he's saying that because players do have NIL deals. I don't know if Shamar Stewart has an NIL deal or not. I'm pretty sure you get those in college. So, that's definitely, if he doesn't have or he hasn't gotten money from that, then kind of crap out of luck on that one. But endorsement deals kind of interest me a lot. So he wasn't a player in college who put up insane stat lines, right? And that's why going into this draft, we said he could have been the 11th overall pick. He could have been the 17th, which he was. Or he could have been a second round pick. Like, he was a very, very up and down prospect, where some people thought he was going to be a first round, some people thought second round. I've seen people say third round. It's like he was kind of all over the place. So I don't know how many endorsements he would get, personally speaking. And I would assume also if he did get an endorsement, they're going to want him to get an endorsement based on him signing with an NFL team. Because then it's like, hey, this NFL player, blah, 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 is endorsing this product. So, I don't know. Maybe, a company would look at him and say, well, based on what you did in college, we'll endorse you. But I feel like, again, that kind of comes down to they want you while you're in college, right? Because the point of endorsements is that you are going to you're going to make them money. You're going to bring their brand enough publicity that creates a buzz and causes you to be able to make money off of your name, right? So, interesting. And I know he honestly, Solomon here is just going ahead and kind of listing off things that, players can do. Like, obviously, NIL deals, which obviously, again, you get those in college. I'm not sure if our boy here got those. Which would allow him to walk away from the Cincinnati Bengals if he were to take that nuclear option. That would be devastating blow to the Bengals to not have the services of a first rounder or a first round pick. I mean, it would suck because we could have had Malachi Starks. It really would have. We could have had Derek Harmon. So it would suck because of that. Obviously, you also want that player, for the next 4 years to be your starter and to really take off. Again, I wouldn't put it past Cincinnati if he did go ahead and go back to college, that we would just draft him in the next year's draft. And I kind of feel like that's what we would do. Yeah, it's a weird situation. Like I've said many times, it's a weird situation. He could also demand a trade. I think his best situation he could be in is demanding a trade. And the reason why I say that is because there's a couple teams, the Lions apparently, the 49ers, who were interested in him. And right now the 49ers are in a weird spot because Michael Williams got hurt during OTAs. And then their backups are also hurt, and they're very thin on the edge rusher position. So the 49ers could be a spot where not only would he probably be very successful with, they could also try to make a trade. Now, I don't think Cincinnati would trade him. Again, I've said this many times, Cincinnati front office is very petty. They kind of go off emotion rather than go off of logic at times. And that's kind of their biggest issue. Is that they're, like I said before, them drafting him again, it would not shock me. If he hit the draft again, they would probably be the first team to say, you know what, put our name in. Because that's just kind of how they are. They work on a pettiness level. But again, like I said, I think he'll be signed. I really think he'll be signed at the end of the day. Because again, let's say he did go back to college, it's not guaranteed he'd be a starter. It's not guaranteed he'd go back to, like, what? So he'd go back to Texas A&M. Maybe he would be a starter. Maybe he wouldn't be. I'm assuming he would be a starter, actually, because he just got drafted. But even then, I mean, you never know. You never know what the situation is. Maybe, another team wants him and, it doesn't work out as well. Again, like I said, there's also situations where, what if he gets drafted, right? And you got to keep in mind, we're not the only team that had this contract language, technically. So what if he gets drafted to another team? And, for example, the Cardinals had the same language we have, and they signed their first-round pick, Walter Nolan II, with that same language. What if he goes to one of those teams, and they do the same thing Cincinnati's doing? It's like, it's a rocky situation. It really is. So, I understand Solo Man's point of view here that, you can make money outside of the NFL, so you can go back to college and try to figure something out with, that. But it's a really rocky road because every college football player's goal is to make it to the NFL, be successful, win Super Bowls, make money, and become a superstar. And, well, yes, I agree that at the end of the day, he could go back and do whatever. But that's also another year he's taking away from his NFL career. And it's definitely, it's going to leave a sour taste in some coaches and GM's mouths. So again, like I said, I'm on the point of view, I'm on the side of Shamar Stewart. I am. And I just want to pay him and get this over with. That's really my whole mindset here. But I don't know if this would work out as well as he thinks it will. Slash, his side. Slash, obviously, the situation with Solomon here and his opinion. But again, like I said, I guess he has all the options in the world. But yeah, it's a weird situation. That's what I'll say. I just wanted to get resolved. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of the whole situation completely. But see you guys next one, though. Peace out.